as it's wide open to the outside, and it's thrown even further outside. Chuba Hubbard, and just as they had, we will have. As a rookie doing a fantastic job, though, he gets beat there, and Sidney Brown was running the wrong way. Duvernay headed to the end zone. As they go with the play action, though, that time it opens up for him. As they swing it out wide, it is Devin Duvernay. As we go with a run, a nice lead block from Mitchell, and there we go. As the phone goes off, it's a easy run in for Robinson. As they try to find some space, Robinson, well, I can't even say try, they find. And it opens up right down the middle for us. Sims, the undrafted rookie, about to get a splash play, the kick return right down the middle with the Falcons. As we go across the middle, it gets picked even though the ball was behind him. Well, Hubbard stops his route, and it's going to go straight to Ellis. This guy has been insane, at least that often. Check this one down. Are you kidding me? 3 interceptions to Ellis. And it leaves us in a spot where there is a lot of question marks across this roster. And after that second blowout loss to the Falcons, we're going to be making a couple changes to the roster at the beginning, but mostly we're going to be shifting focus for where this team really is at and how we want to finish up this season. So let's start with a roundup of really where we are and how this season is really shaping up, and it's really come down to the Falcons. We've been competitive against the Buccaneers and Saints. We've swept the Saints. We've had some good, we've had some bad against the Buccaneers, but we haven't been anywhere close to the Falcons. And for us to make the playoffs, it would require winning our division, and I just don't see it happening. The Falcons, they just are too good. They have too many good key players, not necessarily the full roster. And with us here at 4-8, 5 games left, we would have to win out to even be 8-9. Meanwhile, the Falcons are really close to already getting that 8 win. So we're going to shift focus, and that focus is going to be on young player development. And right now, with the unfortunate injury to Chestnut in the last game, his season is done. He just got his first touchdown, but that's going to be it for him. We did get back Cam Akers, so he's now healthy. So I want to add another running back, and I do have a pretty good option. On top of that, if we could maybe find some other options for the defensive line as well, I think that would be a welcomed addition. Shai Tuttle really hasn't done much of anything with his reps this year. Route, who's gotten the last couple starts, he's made some plays here and there. Similarly could be said for Jerome Sweat, who's done pretty well with his chances. We also have Ika, who could use some reps. Grover Stewart is back healthy, and we might have him out there a little bit just so we're not getting completely blown out. But I would like to get some development for some of these younger guys. But like mentioned, Shai Tuttle, honestly, even Tristan Hill, they didn't do much. So we're going to move away from them. If we could find some other options for edge rush, all the better, because all these guys that we've tried, they really haven't done very well. We are still a week away from getting back Hodgins. And when he does come back, he will be going straight into the starting lineup, as Deion Jones is continuing to regress. He's definitely not having as big of a season this year. And if we could find maybe one more corner, we could definitely try to slot them in. But the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to release Kyle Fuller. We brought him in a few weeks ago, and he had a good first game, and he's had an okay game in between. But for the most part, he really hasn't been all that great. And he's more so a zone guy. We're more of a man style. So we're going to give those man style guys options, and we need to open up some space. So Kyle Fuller, thank you, but bye. On top of that, we also have Isaiah Oliver that we had brought in via a trade earlier on in this season, or it might have even been the offseason. And we were hoping he was going to pan out, and he was close on a lot of coverages, but he just never quite made the play. Maybe due to low play rec, low awareness. I mean, they're not awful, but he just wasn't getting the job done. So once again, we're going to be looking elsewhere, and we're going to save 2.3 mil. So what that is going to do, it's going to open up play for Jaquan Cash to potentially play a little bit more on the outside. His press rating isn't fantastic with some morale. It's down at a 73. He's not very strong in zone, but again, we're more so man. But we're going to give him a little bit more of an opportunity to play on the outside. He did pretty well with that in the last game when we put him in there in the second half. We weren't getting passed on as much. We also brought in Darius Rush a few weeks ago. This will open up a little bit of some play time for him, though the tackling is not very good. So we're going to kind of go back and forth between Rush and the other rookie in Jeremy Crowley, who's gotten some time out on the field. He's just a very raw talent. The cover skills need a lot of developing. So we might add another guy to this group, and someone like Deshaun Jameson might end up being cut in the process because he's already 25 and only a 65. But with those moves made, we have 3 roster spots we need to fill, and the first one, as mentioned earlier, is going to be at running back. Now, I was toying with the idea maybe we bring in Justice Hill, give the Oklahoma State running back group a nice reunion. But there's actually someone else who I think looks really intriguing, and he's currently on the Chargers practice squad in Ty Barlow. He's a rookie, 21 years old, so he's going to be able to develop for a good few more years. He's only a normal dev. But when you look at the ratings, he's a very well-balanced running back, and I feel like, honestly, he could probably even take over for Cam Akers, who hasn't done much with his opportunities either. Break tackle is a little bit low. He doesn't have the best of hands, but all in all, I think he has a good enough spread talent that he should be on an actual game day roster, not practice squad. So we're going to be bringing in Barlow to be that maybe 2, maybe 3 back. As for the corner spot, there is Jaquan McMillan, who I have some interest in. My problem is he's 24. He's going to be turning 25 pretty soon, but he's at least a balanced guy. 73 man, 70 zone, not much press, but he has some decent tackling, so he could be a slot guy. But I would prefer someone a little bit younger. And there is a rookie out of Utah who fits that a good bit more. 22 years old. The size is really good. 6'3", 204. He's a man guy, though not much of a press man. He's raw, but he's another slot talent, someone that we could rotate at that spot, given the other couple guys that we have. So we're going to be bringing in Tyrell Jones. And lastly, we're going to be bringing in someone from our own practice squad for the defensive line in Mitch Russell. He's 6'3", 311, 21 years old. He is a rookie out of Tennessee. He has good strength, 91, though the actual skill set, once again, is very raw. But we're giving these young guys some opportunities, so we're going to see what they could do. He has decent tackle ability, probably some of his best ability. And it's not like we've seen great play from majority of our guys, so it couldn't be any much of a downgrade. But all these guys are going to have a very tough first game, as it's going to be against the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, 97 overall QB. Running back, still DeAndre Swift, a 91. As for the receivers, you got 99 in A.J. Brown, 89 in Devontae Smith, and 80 in DJ Chark, who we let go after the first off season. There's also a rookie in Walt Keenan, who is a day one starter, so we'll see if they end up working him in. They also have another young option in Jalen Moreno Cropper. As for their tight end, it would be Dallas Goedert, though he is injured in this one. So instead, it'll be Grant Calcaterra, and then behind him, Nick Christie, another rookie. And as for their trenches, pretty good. Jordan Mailata at left tackle, a 90. Got Landon Dickerson, 85 overall at left guard. Down the middle, they do not have Kelsey anymore, so we'll see who they end up putting in that starting spot. There is Coleman Shelton, who is a 69, but on the right side of the line, they do have backups. Tyler Steen, who is a 73, as well as Trey Pipkins III, who is a 70, so they might slide in. As for the right side of their starting line, it's going to be a little bit weaker, but still solid. Cam Jurgens, 74, and then they have Greg Selvey, a rookie, 73. Their defensive line, still pretty solid. They have Denico Autry, 77. They also have John Kaminsky. Maybe he'll get out there a little bit at 71. Josh Sweat, an 87. Then right down the middle of the Georgia line, you got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Two phenomenal guys. We're going to have to stick to our play to the outside, which shouldn't be a problem for us because that's what we like to do. Hassan Reddick coming off the edge. As for the other side, they do have Zach Cunningham, so a little bit of a step down there. They also have Chason, who maybe can rival for a little bit of some play time. Down the middle, Shaq Thompson, injured once again, so we don't have to worry about him. But they do have Josie Jewell in 81, and then Nakobe Dean at a 74. Their corners, still really good. Darius Slay Jr. 91, James Bradbury the fourth 84, then Avonte Maddox a 79, and Isaiah Rodgers Sr. also a 79. So we'll see who gets the start in the slot. And then they have a second-year player in Keely Ringo, who also looks like he could be pretty good. Another guy out of Georgia. The safeties, Kevin Byard the third, a 90 overall, and Ruby Ford a 79. They also have Josh Metellus a 78. So this is just a really well-built team, and I'm interested to see how we play given how we've played against the Falcons. And what would be great, and what our GM is looking for here, he's looking for the upset alert, which would be great. Play the spoiler, get some big boost if we can get the win. So with the new focus set on the young guys, can they perform against one of the league's best in the Philadelphia Eagles, who are 9-3, 87 across the board? Let's find out. Let's get this one underway as Elliott boots it off. Sims back to return, and we will be returning. Look for some blocks down the middle, trying to find a little bit of some space, and it's a little bit of space up to the 34, where Young in the offense will head out. And this is an offense that's had plenty of rest, as most of the starters got benched after the first half of last week's game. See how well they respond today, as it's Hubbard play one right down the middle, picking up 3. As we talked earlier on, gonna try to focus on some more outside play today. Don't want to mess with the DTs right down the middle because it's a pretty good group. Though having to find somewhere to go here, Young needs to find the edge, and he will, picking up the first down before getting tackled from behind. It's a gain of 10. Now, the main thing this year has been trying to keep Young healthy, because when he is healthy and he's not getting beat up, he plays really well, though that's just been a very hard thing to try to consistently do. So we need to keep him clean. We need to get the ball outside quickly, like we do on that one. And if we can work that a little bit more often, I think we'll do all right today. At least offensively. Defense might be a whole other story as the hit comes in there on the halfback screen. We'll leave it 3rd and 4. But as we're going to try to continue doing today, spreading them out. As we have 3 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. Need to pick up the first down here, keep this thing going. Young will do just that, getting down right after. Now, at least where it's felt like this team has had its most success is drawing down the defense and then looking for a pop shot. Today, this is going to be one of our pop shots. See if we can get something downfield as it's Chenault, but the hit comes in, and it takes about 30 yards off that ball. Maddox gets the pick, and we already have a turnover. Though, if we're being honest, that one is more so on the offensive line. There were 3 guys who were not blocking anyone there at the end, as we already don't get the tackle, loss of the tackle, and a first down for Swift. Now, we did suffer a practice injury this week, and it's going to be for Sweat. So it's Russell and Route, the starter DTs for us today. See how well they do, as there's a good play from Robinson. Getting the tackle from behind, it's loss of 2. And for the most part, that's really all he's done from the edge rush. He's gotten some tackles for a loss. Can't really remember seeing much of any sacks, as we do not get the tackle for a loss there. Stockton, though, quick to recover. Does end up just leaving it a gain of 1, leaving 3rd and 11. They got a bunch to the left-hand side, 1 over to the right. Flood, as they typically do. Robinson in pursuit, forces the throwaway. Defense actually starts better than the offense. They force the punt and keep the scoreboard clean following the offensive's turnover. Speaking of which, hopefully we don't have this drive as we start with our heavy set 3 tight end group. See if we can get some quick drags. Out to Hayden Hurst, and are you kidding me with these picks? Ford somehow steals that from Hayden Hurst, and I guess we jinxed ourselves massively there. Now, that one I am perfectly fine blaming on Young. It wasn't the best of read. Throw that one earlier, or throw that one, just don't throw it to the outside where obviously the corner was sitting. As Robinson misses the sack, Hurts stepping up, slides down a yard shy of the first. Well, it definitely wasn't the start we were hoping for offensively, but the defense, like I said, not doing all too bad to start off. It's 2nd and 1. Hurts looking to scramble. Wanham forces the fumble. It's picked up by Stockton. Let's see if we can head down the sideline here. Is anyone gonna be able to catch us? No, it will be an easy, diving, flipping score for the rookie as DJ Wanham forces the fumble. So after our offense throws interceptions on back-to-back plays, it's the defense for us that actually gets the first score, not the Eagles. Big surprise as there's a good tandem there. Deion Jones slows him down, cleaned up by Gardner Johnson. And hopefully the way that we're seeing this team playing right now, at least defensively, was a wake-up call last week after we gave up another 44 points. But it was our head coach pulling everyone after the first half that maybe gave them that sense of urgency. And that urgency is working pretty well right now as we have them in another 3rd and long. They need 9 yards here for the first down. As we're bringing a lot of heat, that one should be picked by Horn. He's dropped several of those of recent games, but his play is improving. So let's give him props for the breakup. Now we just have to worry on getting this offense back operational as we've thrown the ball 4 times, 2 interceptions, and have only completed 1 pass. Where we've gotten some yards has been through running game as we pick up 2. But we need to make sure we don't get too one-dimensional. We're going to stick with a run, though, here, but try to get it to the outside as Thomas moves over. Go with the halfback toss. Try to get some blockers out in space. Try to find an edge, and the edge does not hold very long. It's a short gain, 3 yards. And that'll leave us with 5 more needed here on 3rd. First down is at the 45. We've got 2 tight ends on the right-hand side, 2 receivers to the left. Hubbard going on the wheel. He's found that open a lot of recent. Gets by Reich, and it might be another 10-5 touchdown for Chuba Hubbard. After 2 picks to start this game, we're now up 2 scores. Talk about a turnaround. None better than what we've seen there, at least for us, as we still have a minute here left in the first quarter. Eagles out as they do get this one to their tight end, who's going to pick up a first and about 5 extra. And just as Young has had a troubling start to this game, so has Hurts. That was his first completion of the day. Does go for 16 with the first down. As they swing it out, we bit on the underneath version of that RPO. Though it could have been much worse. Only a gain of 9. And it will take us to the second quarter. All in all, we did very well to replace the bad plays with good. And we found ourselves up 14-0. However, where this team struggles is getting complacent when they do end up turning those things around and thinking that things are all fine. Got to keep the pedal down to the floor and maybe don't leave everything open here for Hurts, who bounces to the outside. It's Horn or nobody, and it's nobody who gets the tackle. Apparently nobody's Deion Jones. But Horn at least slowed down Hurts enough to buy us a little bit of time to get up there. But they're down inside the 10, looking to find their first score after nearly being handed a double lead as Route gets the sack. They could not find the edge. It's a loss of at least 6. And honestly, already with this much younger, raw, talented defensive line, we're seeing better play. We'll give it to them. Second and goal. They flood left side. Hurts looking to scramble again. Not going to get by Deion Jones, and now he's a little bit slower to get up, but still going to have a little smack talk before he heads off the field. Apparently, some form of lower body injury. He's going to head to the trainer's table. So that's going to bring in Sims, who I believe is a rookie. We need to check up on him after this play. Third and goal. It's a pretty big one for him as he's looking to find his wide open target. How about that? 1 throw, 1 catch, 1 touchdown, A.J. Brown. And that is indeed most likely the first touchdown in the career of Carlos Sims, a rookie quarterback who is 69 overall. He has a little bit of some mobility, but he is a strong-armed quarterback. 99 throw power. The accuracies are very raw. We'll see what he does the rest of the game, but first impression, pretty good. And now we got to see how our offense is going to respond. Giving up the first points, that's where they've started to falter. We've done pretty well at getting some early 2-score leads in these games. We've just fall apart late on as Young drops it. Well, I think I jinxed us again. Eagles gonna take over again in plus territory. That is 3 early turnovers for Bryce Young. And it is still going to be Sims out there. See what he does with his next set of throws. It's going to be an empty look here on first down. With the drag route, we knock that one free. Stockton across the middle. What would be perfect for us is to get pressure early on here, though it is Hurts who's back in. Still, pressure is going to be good because he's going to be a little bit light on that ankle. As they do get it out, it's Devontae Smith finding the edge around Horn, who does catch back up, but they're down at the 6. Already they are primed to make the big play here, make this game level after all the early turnovers. As they hand it off, not going to find the end zone. We do drag him down with Grover Stewart. Does at least net them a couple of yards. They're down to the 4 as they come out with a heavier set from the shotgun, and Gardner Johnson through the legs of both an offensive lineman and Swift gets the tackle. That's just the kind of play we need. 3rd and goal. Can we get a stand here from the defense? As they go read option, red the whole way. It is Ika with a tackle for a loss. Only a loss of 1, but hey, we will take it. 4th and goal. And this young defensive line here, they're making moves as they are going to try to tack on some points here, make it a 4-point game, not 4 score, as I almost said. They will get the field goal. We just desperately need Bryce Young to hold on to the football. Should not be that difficult, but it has been. As we start out at the 23 with a little bit of some play action. Try to get to the outside. Well, we have Hurts towards the sideline, and he brings it in. As mentioned on the last drive, we need to make sure we're not one-dimensional, but right now the dimension needs to be just getting the ball out of Young's hand as quickly as possible, and maybe if we could get some blocks from Likely. Look at the effort, though, from Hubbard. He did not want to go down. He's seen all these turnovers happen, and he's doing his best to try to make up for it. As we look to go his way on this one, with the screen, get some blocks out in front, bouncing to the outside, picking up some more yards on what was going to be a short gain, gets the stiff arm at the end, a little bit of a cherry on top. Hubbard just continues to impress. As we look maybe for the end zone here, Mingo towards that front pylon. He is covered by Darius Slay, so let's not test that, but instead, let's drop this one over the top for Chenault. He loves that pylon as he toe taps just inside of it. It's another big one for Laviska Shenault Jr. And I just wanted to take a moment to look at the toe taps there. I mean, that is perfect. From Chenault, look right there, got the back foot dragging, the first one comes in, that's what you want. So right now the team feeling it and showing that they can get the job done when they're just not shooting themselves in their own feet. With a quick throw, Horn, can you please just stick a hand in there? We'll continually see tight coverage from him, but he's just not making the plays to break up the passes. And every time we think we're seeing some improvement, he then kind of drops off a little bit as Hurts once again breaking to the outside. It's Deion Jones slowing him down and brought down Sidney Brown. That's where we've gotten burned most of the plays here today. The big ones, at least, are on this read option. And given how popular that has been over the course of the last 10 years or so in college ball, I know that all of the defenders out here have had to cover that as Sidney Brown gets beat. It's a touchdown in 2-3 plays as they go over the top to their tight end, filling in for Goddard. And this one's just turned into a game of highlights. Turnovers, big runs, deep bombs downfield as we'll have a little under 2 minutes to try to find some more points to widen our lead before half. And we're going to start with some halfback screen action. Get this one out to Hubbard, who's been fantastic. Gets caught from behind and is also a little bit slow to get up after that one. Luckily for us, he just heads to the bench, a positive sign for later on in this game. But he will be out at least one play. Akers stepping in for him as we go right down the middle. And Acre special, 1-2 yards, but picking up the first. And from there, we're going to bring out Barlow, just off the practice squad of the Chargers and giving an opportunity here in crunch time of the first half. As we look for him, he cannot hold it. It was a very narrow window. And given if that was maybe Hubbard, he makes the play. But either way, good throw though from Young to squeeze that one in. Not something we expect of Barlow. As we continue to have him out there, look for the quick dump off, no, smacked from behind. Davis has been rather impactful already in this drive at least, as it is just wide open straight down the seam. Chenault, please find some space. Just deliver him a good ball, and I can't quite say that was a good one, but he rings it in. Perhaps next time maybe a little bit further away from the incoming safety. But it didn't harm us that go around. We're going to make a slide, or apparently not make any changes to any sort of hot routes as we try to get that one out to the tight end, but no time. It is Davis, and we call our first timeout there, or actually second due to the injury. But we're at least in field goal range. Our kicker has the whole lot of leg power. But we need to make sure we don't lose any more yards. We got an out from Mingo, switch concept with Chenault, Jennings going across the middle deep, and that looks like where we're gonna go. Jennings not able to bring it in. Should have been caught. And maybe ask for a slightly better placement there from Young, but overall that one was not bad. As I want to send Barlow straight down the middle here. Hurst going on the outside. See how that all opens up. As we have to try to find some space, it's Young diving down. He takes a knee awkwardly, and it's 4th and 9 at the 22. And while Madden may say to go for it, I don't quite like the odds. So we're going to send out Ford. We know how good he is. Just need the snap down, hold, good, and it's down the middle. We will widen this one back to a touchdown lead. But with 20 seconds, defense, we need you to not give up any more highlights here in this first half. As they hand it off, it's Swift, who's going to pick up 5, and they called their timeout. We'll end up taking about 4 seconds off the clock, and now they're going to spread wide. Empty set here for Jalen Hurts. Need to do well to contain him. Quick throw, diving, broken up by Jaquan Cash. He has been a very key player for this defense this year. Even though when he was drafted, he was not expected to really be much a part of this team, as that pass slightly off. Leaves 4th and 5. Maybe we'll have a chance to chuck the ball deep. And following the punt, we have 1 second, so it will be one shot, one opportunity. And they're not playing any sort of prevent defense. Let's see if we can get a little bit lucky here. How about Mingo to the outside? He has the step, but once again, the deep ball comes in just a little bit low. Still trying to work on that a little bit there with Young. Get these passes a little bit higher. We probably have also avoided a lot of turnovers we've seen from it, but not a bad first half by any means. We've scored more points in that first half than we had in the entire game against the Falcons in either the first or second matchup. So improvement, and pretty well on defense as well. And speaking of the Falcons, they're taking on the Saints this week. It's a close matchup there, 14-7. One team swept us, we swept the other, but somehow when they play, it's a closer game. As for the second one, it's going to be the Denver Broncos taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, and it is Broncos up 21-7. Both those teams fighting for first place in their own division. As for the last update we have for you, it's the Giants taking on the Commanders. And it is the Giants out in front, 17-8. They're trying to just get their 4th win of the season. Meanwhile, the Commanders trying to stay in that wild card fight. But as we get our second half underway here, it is going to be a great opportunity for the Eagles to try to level this one. As they start off on offense, we send a quick blitz. However, they find a quick big play as Rush got beat by A.J. Brown. He's trying to get back there, but he did not. One play leveler from the Eagles, and we got a whole new ball game. But I am fine with those kind of plays happening with Rush against A.J. Brown, but with Horn, we expect more. We just need our offense to answer quickly as we start this next half, and it's Barlow who's going to pick up 3. That's actually more than I expected on that run. But as we've talked about just in general, we got to make sure we keep that pedal to the floor here. Keep the offense moving. Stop just letting up as we have Laviska Shenault coming across, who brings it in. Every time we get him going, it's always spectacular play. And unfortunately for him, he just really doesn't get that opportunity more regularly, though that's more on the coach. We might need to honestly put him out at the outside receiver spot instead of Jennings, who hasn't done much, at least of recent. Though he's going to get the option here, wide open, picking up a massive gain. We're down inside the Oppo 30. And it's actually quite funny in the matter of which we're running this offense today, because we talked about trying to have a lot of short, quick to the outside, but as the day's gone on, we've gotten deeper and deeper downfield. As we hand this one off, Barlow, who's not going to get the stiff arm, but a nice gain of 8 will help the XP. Plus, on top of that, if he can impress, that might lessen what we need to do at the running back spot in the offseason, as I was hoping to add at least one guy looking for a little bit of some power with some hands, as there's nowhere to go but chuck that one away. Now I say nowhere to go. I believe we actually had Likely wide open downfield, but just didn't have the angle to throw it. As we pick up some good blocks there, bouncing around. Barlow keeping the legs moving. Picks up the first down. We're down to the 17. And I think what I like even more is that he automatically put on that 21. That is one of my running back numbers, one of my favorite running back numbers, and he's rocking it pretty well. As you need to find someone to open up here. There's really not much. I would have preferred Hayden Hurst sit instead of trying to go downfield. Could have had a check down. But who likes sitting underneath nowadays? Everyone likes to go downfield. It's 2nd and 10. As we try to get this one out to Akers, pick up some blocks, get back towards the middle with those blocks, and it's a gain of about 6. And with that, we'll stick with the empty set here. I like Mingo's route to the outside. Also have a couple guys sitting on the inside. Though it doesn't quite open up. Young trying to scramble away, but Jordan Davis just should not be that fast. Honestly, feels like it should be illegal for a guy that size, but we're going to bring out Ford here. We need some points, re-grab a lead, and it will be with the field goal. And from there, we really just need to get the defense focused on minimizing the big plays, because for the most part, we're not giving up the consistent plays. It's just those big ones. As A.J. Brown, prior to that touchdown catch, as he gets it there and picking up the first. He only had, what, 2 others that were maybe for 15 total yards? So if we could just reorganize that, I think we'll do pretty well. And stop running press coverage, because we just don't have the press guys as Horn. Can you just make a play? We did end up benching him last week, and after that, we weren't giving up that many passing plays. So we might end up switching him out here in the second half with Cash, see how that ends up going. Give some opportunities to the young corners to play slot as well. And honestly, the fact of just saying that really sounded good, so we've made that switch. We're bringing out Jones, the guy that we just brought in to play some slot for us. See how well that works, as Cash already gives up a catch. But it's at least not a massive one. I'll let him have a few goes out there before we start getting too critical of him, because again, it's not his natural spot. He is a slot corner. 1st and 10 though, the Eagles are inside the 40. As they dump this one off, it's a quick catch, gain of 4. But also, I think a thing that's worked pretty well for us today is the fact that we've just brought a lot of pressure, and it's just worked. As this might be another touchdown for the tight end. Sidney Brown has not had a good one in man coverage today. And with that, the Eagles take, I believe, their first lead of the game. But with the defense on a little bit of a slide here the second half, we need the offense to regain composure for this game. So let's try to slow it down a little bit. Allow our defense a little bit of a breather, and we need to make sure we get some points, preferably a touchdown at the end of this one. And I would say right now, we've shrunk down our offense a little bit, playing the short quick, but the Eagles have matched that. They're also playing a little bit of some more shallow coverage as we get that one out for Jordan Thomas, who picks up the first. So if we continue to see them playing underneath here, we might need to try to dial up a few more deep shots. As we try to stretch this one to the outside, it is Barlow, who will pick up a few. Gain of 5 out of bounds. But as they do, they let the clock run, so we head into the 4th there. We are down 31-27, but it's completely in our own hands. And honestly, that's something that we haven't done all too well with this season. So we need to make sure we tighten things up as we get the 4th underway here. Wide open to the outside. It's Isaiah Likely who will pick up a couple extra at the end there. And it's a solid gain down to the 43. And this team moves very efficiently if we get the tight ends rolling. So we're going to keep 2 out here. We also have Mingo and Jennings to the right-hand side. Look for a little bit of some play action. Try to stretch the field a little bit. One-on-one. It's Jennings who cannot bring it in. Ford knocks it away. We'll say Jennings started off really hot, but it's been a hot minute since we've seen him have a really dominant game. As Barlow sticks the foot in the ground, he picks up a few. Though part of you wonders if that was Hubbard, would that have been a first down with the burst he has? Either way, it's 3rd and 6. Jennings on the stop to the outside. Got a couple other options. See what ends up working out pretty well. And I do like Jennings, though. The corner drives on it, but cannot knock it away in Bradbury. Again, the goal of this drive was to be methodical, consistent, drain some clock, and end with a touchdown. We're on our way to do that as we find Hayden Hurst, who's not going to find the first down, but he does pick up 8. And unfortunately for him, he's getting on the older side, and Starting to wonder if this might be his last season here with us, but let's try to make it a big one. As we get it out to him once again, he picks up 8 down 2, or picks up 8. He picks up a whole lot more down to the 8. If anything, it was more like 20 or so. As it's 1st and goal, we stick with this same look. Hand this one off Barlow, who does not burst through the gap, but with the pass or the rush that they got right down the middle, could have been much worse. Ends up gaining only a yard, but I'll take that over a loss of anything. Sticking with the same look once again. Got options to the outside. Trying to find somewhere to go. Young just got to get rid of it. No, he cannot release it in time. It's a sack for Sweat. And we'll have a 3rd and goal at the 15. So it's nearly a loss of 10 on that one. Let's just make a couple changes here. No one is over Hurst, so if we could get him to that pylon. Though the outside corner sits on it well, we dump this one off, but it is not accurate enough. 4th and goal at the 15. You're down 4. If we were closer, we'd go for it. But we'll give this one to Ford, make it a 1-point game. And it is up and through. He's made all of his attempts today, but we might need him for a big one for defense can get the stop. But that will be exactly what they're tasked with. As they start back at the 25, I expect them to go heavy run here as they give it to Swift, only his 8th carry today, 27 yards. But granted, at the same time where I expect the run, I also expect them to pop up for a play action pass. Maybe going Swift's way as I do go here, spinning off of one, getting by the 2nd, not going to get by Stockton. And we have what is potentially a 3rd and game here. 2 tight ends to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Here's that play action, and it's wide open for Smith, who shakes the defender, and they might just find themselves there in field goal range. That was exactly as I called it. Couple runs, play action pass going to, I think I said Swift earlier. I meant Smith. See, did it again. As they're definitely letting this one roll. Stockton trying to fill, ends up going Brown's way. We call a timeout there. 2:31 on the clock. And as we expect more runs, we bring out the heavy D-line group, essentially 4 DTs and then the edge rushers. So a 6 front as they fake the jet sweep, handoff down the middle. It's a shed that will do enough. 3rd and 2. And once again, we have a potential 3rd and game. Do they go with the play action once again? They will. Throw to the outside, and it's A.J. Brown. Luckily, he does get out of bounds. That should stop the clock. 2:22. We have 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning. But can the defense get the job done? Hot route or some sort of check here from Hurts. As they will throw for it. We send the blitz, and he misses. He's going to end up scrambling, picking up the 1st. Potentially, they give it to him. We're going to have to let the 2-minute warning hit from here, and we might just need to give up a touchdown. That might be the safest opportunity for us. So honestly, what we're going to do here, just send the house. And if they throw for the touchdown, that is fine by me. Instead, they go read option and force the fumble. No. Well, we'll call our last timeout there. And what it's going to be every time is sending the house. Again, if we give up the touchdown, that gives us an opportunity to try to level this one. Instead, Brown ends up tackling the guy. 3rd and 10, though. If we get the stop here, force a field goal, we'll still have some time. 3rd and 10, I expect a throw, though. It will be. They got some options, going to flood one side. Hurts looking to scramble, and we get the stop. 4th and 1, but will they go for it? No, they're not going to get greedy. They send out the field goal unit here. This would make it a 4-point game. As the snap is back, we're not close to block it. We will need a touchdown with about 20-ish seconds remaining. No timeouts. Now the question really becomes, do we have a play we trust to get out of bounds? Well, Chuba Hubbard is strapping up for this last go, and we've dialed up his route here. Could be a nice gain, plus getting out of bounds. As we look for him at the sideline, it's a catch and out of bounds. It takes about 6 seconds off the clock. But we're also going to have a booth review, so maybe not any yards. Let's take a look here. Honestly, I didn't see where the feet landed the first time. Yeah, that's a catch. No prob. So if anything, that just works at helping us collect our breath here. as we're going to run right back to it, going to the opposite side here. See if we still get that route. No, instead they cover it. We look for Mingo, and it's almost picked. 31 could have ended it there. Plus, on top of that, we lose another 6 seconds. Still no timeouts. We got to find these to the sideline, though they're protecting the sideline. And we can't get that pass off. Jennings broke free. They are protecting the sideline, though, so let's try to use that against them. And with the single high safety, it's going to put a lot of pressure on these slot corner guys. They're actually a walk down safety. Chenault deep, Hurts deep. Probably not going to help out that much. Let's actually have him go on the stop. We'll send Mingo deep. Who can make the play here? Who's going to get the speed? Well, the speed is Chenault, who spins, gets the catch, but that is 8 seconds. I don't think we're going to have time for one more play, and we don't. We get down close, but it does still end up being a win for the Eagles. We gave it a good shot there late on. Offense slowed down in the second half. Defense definitely, they didn't quite have what they had in that first half. But all in all there, I am very happy with what we saw. What we were able to do against a 9-3, now 10-3 team. We showed that even though we've been demolished by the Falcons, we can still rival that of some really good teams. It's still a loss though, 34-30, but the way we were able to rebound from 3 early turnovers, still have that 2-score lead. And for the most part, that first half, I mean, we won that first half. We slowed down a good bit in that second quarter defensively. Third quarter, it was about the same. Fourth, we cleaned it up. We primarily controlled the ball a lot though in that fourth quarter. We just needed a couple more plays from the offense, and those plays were there. Just got to do better at capitalizing on it. And I think what I'm going to do moving into the next game is we're going to give Chenault the opportunity to be that full-time starter, and I'm going to put him in over Jennings. He just hasn't done much in a while, and I still want to try to develop Mingo. I think he has at least the raw skill set for us, so I think that's what we're going to do moving forward. In this one, again, it's a mix of some good and bad. Young, 2 touchdowns, had the 3 first quarter turnovers, but he also threw for 338 yards, gave us opportunities, could have maybe had a little bit more with some higher passes, but overall not bad. We did not end up having a serious injury for Chuba Hubbard, but we definitely missed not having him there for that fourth quarter. I think that was a big reason why that offense slowed down. But against Swift, I think the defense did really well. Only 3.6 yards a carry, 12 rushes, and the young defensive line, they stepped up for sure. And what honestly is the craziest part about that is Chuba Hubbard still had a near 150-yard game despite only playing about half of it. So that was great. Chenault, 4 catches, 114 yards. Fantastic. Need to get him more involved. A.J. Brown only had really one big play, was the 75-yard touchdown. He did have one of the first downs late on that. I would say that was a big one. But for the most part, we weren't giving up anything massive to him. So despite not having a top-tier corner on him for most of the game, we did decently well. We gave up a lot of catches to Devontae Smith, and most of these, I mean, they were all complete to him, and complete pretty easily. We weren't really rivaling that. Can't really say Cash did much better or worse than Horn, but the rating disparity is so much of a difference that I think he plays better in that aspect. Where we did really struggle was at strong safety. Sidney Brown, we brought him in to be a man cover guy, and we did not see that today. Grant Calcaterra, he had 3 catches, 2 of which were touchdowns. He struggled massively. So if we cleaned up a couple things on defense, we definitely could have won this one. And in a way, there was some real positivity from this. We got some guys making plays, good XP gained, and we still lost. So we're still going to have a better draft pick than we would have if we won. So all ends up working itself out. Next time will be a tough one, mostly for the offensive line, having to deal with Aaron Donald. For that one, we definitely got to get the ball out quickly and efficiently to the outside, get away from Donald as quickly as possible. The Rams are 4-9, same as us, 79 offense, 80 defense, probably very highly lifted up or propped it up by the 97 Aaron Donald. So we'll see how we handle them next time. We are still 3rd in the NFC South, still with a good few games left to go. Overall, I'm happy with this one. I hope you guys were too. If you were, make sure you guys hit the bear icon in the bottom right or scroll down, hit the sub button. If you have not already subscribed and do want to stick around, I know most of the people watching these videos, they're not subscribed. Just go ahead and click it. It's completely free to you. It just helps grow the channel. And if you help with that, I appreciate it very much. Once again, we're closing in on the 1K mark, about 50 or so subs away. So again, if you enjoy, stick around. You guys got this series every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, plus the state-only challenger. Right now, states, as we are taking over the Central States-only challenge, Arkansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. Can we win a Super Bowl in 5 years? Well, we're gonna find out, and you will as well if you guys tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. So we'll see you all next time for Battle of my Madden 24 traditional franchises, as it's Rams up next.